Hello everybody, it's me Scoop, and this video is incredibly random, but I just rewatched Army of the Dead, and dear lord, I need to talk about this crap. So, I don't even have a plan for this video. I just watched the movie like 1.5 times again recently. I watched it when it first came out, and I didn't really care enough about it, but I just rewatched it, and it was so much worse than I remembered, so I gotta talk about this monstrosity. So if you don't already know, this glorious masterpiece was brought to us by the legend himself, Zacharias Snyderius, and oh boy, he did a lot on this movie. He was one of the writers, he was the director of photography, he was the producer along with his wife, so this is a Zack Snyder joint right here. Help. So yeah, just like any Zack Snyder movie, it has too many issues to count. It is way too long, and it is shot very strangely. In this case, there's a lot of slow-mo, and almost every shot is completely out of focus. I wish I was joking. That's something I'm gonna mention many times during this video, because I'm not gonna be able to help myself, because literally almost every shot is out of focus. How? So yeah, if you've never seen this movie, Netflix really thought it was going to be the next big thing. They had a whole franchise planned. As a matter of fact, it had a prequel / spin-off released in the same year, so the productions, overlapped with each other. This movie was delayed until 2021 because, interesting enough, some guy named Chris D'Elia, who I've never heard of, was supposed to be in this movie. I don't know if he's like famous or anything. I haven't heard of any of the actors in this movie except for Dave Bautista.
Follow this page if you hate Dave Bautista.
Chris D'Elia ran into some issues with children, so he's no longer with us in this film. It's kind of funny he got cut from this movie because, like I said, no idea who he is. I just know he was at the Justin Bieber roast, which I thought was odd because everyone at the Justin Bieber roast was incredibly famous, and then this jerkwad shows up and does like the most unfunny joke I think I've ever heard.
Baby is the most hated video online, like statistically, if you check that shit out, okay? And there are also ISIS videos online, okay?
But now he's canceled for inappropriate stuff with children, so I don't fucking know. His character was replaced by this other person, Tig Notaro, who I've never heard of, who is like equally as annoying and unfunny as Chris D'Elia at Justin Bieber's roast, so I guess it was a fair substitution. Netflix literally spent millions of dollars, or as is quoted here but doesn't sound right at all, they spent about the same amount of money on recasting this character after the movie was finished as they did on the movie's prequel. I'm sure it wasn't one-to-one, like this was obviously less expensive than an entire movie, but Jesus Christ, replacing an entire actor after a movie is basically done is insane. Now, I'm certainly not fighting a war for Chris D'Elia here. Like I said, no idea who he is, he did bad things, so fucking get him out of the movie, I don't really care. It just is very odd to me. The movie was basically finished, like they were doing the finishing touches, and then they're like, actually, let's spend a couple $1 million real quick and replace his character. So if you don't actually know the plot of Army of the Dead, it doesn't have too much of one. I mean, like, yeah, it has a plot. It's not that bad. It's just, like, not important. There's a zombie outbreak in Vegas thanks to some quality roadhead, and so Dave Bautista and his crew go in to rob a casino. 2.5 hours, huh? Okay. Anyway, much like any Zack Snyder movie, this movie has a lot of weird setups for future spin-offs and sequels that are never going to happen, so it makes the viewing experience very strange. For example, the zombie outbreak is actually caused by an alien from Area 51 who escapes after some solid roadhead. So congratulations, Zach. I've never heard of a zombie apocalypse starting by roadhead, but it's also weird that it's started by an alien. So yeah, what happens is the army's transporting this like buff alien guy. The truck explodes, like I said, good roadhead, and the zombie outbreak starts in Vegas. And that's kind of the end of it. So we get the Zombieland ripoff intro where, they do the opening credits over the city, getting infected by zombies, except it's not nearly as funny as Zombieland, so that's cool. I really like the shot of the paratrooper just landing into a horde of zombies without really doing anything about it. Like, great plan, Chief. So yeah, then it cuts to like a couple of years later. That's not specified. You're kind of just left to infer the amount of time that it's been. Where we see Dave Bautista flipping burgers, where a rich guy is like, hey, bro, listen up. I don't know how you got in here because you got the Medal of Freedom for saving some government person from the zombies, which we never saw. He just tells us that that's what happened. And now you're flipping burgers. How would you like to break into Zombie Vegas and get me $200 million? And Dave Bautista's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Sounds cool. It's just, this movie is just kind of, it feels like it's missing basic logic. Like I said, there's never any sort of explanation or anything what the deal with the alien zombie from Area 51 is that starts this apocalypse. Then there's also like cyborg zombies running around in the background. I guess that was probably for a spinoff we're never gonna get. Just like really weird stuff like that all the time. They introduced this concept of like zombies that dry up in the sun and then come back to life when it rains, but then they never do that. They literally stop for like a solid minute and a half to explain this concept and then never address it. I've never seen a movie skip 5 to 6 years after the intro and not give us a time card that says that. The first time I watched this, I didn't even know that they skipped years. I thought it would be like maybe a year or so, because why would you just leave this city of zombies sitting there for 6 years? So yeah, after Dave Bautista scene, we meet Dave Bautista's daughter, who's in the quarantine camp right outside the zombie city, which this is what really confused me about it being 6 years later, because why does this quarantine camp exist for 6 years? These are zombies. If you're bitten, you will turn into a zombie almost immediately. That's the rules that the movie shows us. Why is there an entire camp for this? You would need to hold someone in a cell for like maybe 5 minutes tops. 6 years? What? So yeah, Dave Bautista's daughter is like the worst. She makes me annoyed just by like looking at her. I really don't know what it is. But yeah, every time she's on screen, I just get annoyed. I really hate her. So there's an entire subplot in this movie about some woman stuck at this camp named Gita. The movie's 2.5 hours. We really don't have time for this crap. They could have cut this easily and it wouldn't really change a thing. It would just make the movie better and shorter. But, you know, Zack Snyder, we need the 4-hour cut. I need more Gita, Zack. Give me the Zack Snyder Gita cut. So yeah, Gita's just like a random woman living in this camp that Dave Bautista's daughter likes. And then we meet this other guy who runs the camp and he's a huge asshole and like abusive. And Gita's like, hey, I think I should sneak into the city and get money to get my family out of the camp. And Dave Bautista's daughter's like, nah, that's a bad idea. Maybe don't do that. So Gita does that. So just as Dave Bautista and the crew are about to enter Vegas, the daughter's like, hey, wait, I need to come with you to rescue Gita. And Dave Bautista's like,
Who the fuck is Gita?
and I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Dave Bautista. I'm not even reviewing the movie at this point. I'm kind of just explaining the plot because it's really a dumb movie. Like, there's not a whole lot to review. The team assembling scene is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Sounded weird, but okay. The guy just approaches Dave Bautista and is like, hey, build your crew. So Dave Bautista gets this woman who's assumed to be like his best friend. I think they were like fighting together during some of the intro montage thing. But we don't really know what their relationship is. For all we know, they're just like co-soldier people. Except they like kiss and get together by the end of the movie. Even though Dave Bautista's wife like died during the zombie outbreak. So I feel like they wouldn't have had time before they meet up here to like start a romantic relationship. I'm just confused. Like, we don't know if they've been talking to each other over the last 6 years after the zombie city attack thing. So it's just like, what? Okay. If I'm not making a whole lot of sense, it's because this movie doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You kind of just are better off running with it and not questioning it. But this entire video is questioning it, so I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So yeah, he gets his like friend, girlfriend character, and then they're like, hey, we need our third partner, Vanderho. And he has this like weird philosophical speech when they recruit him. They're like, hey, you want to join us and kill some more zombies? And he's like, I don't know, man. Back in the city, I killed all those zombies by shooting them in the head. At the time, I just thought it was okay because they were mindless zombies, but now I think about it, they were really just people, and now their faces are all I see when I sleep at night. But yeah, I don't know, maybe going back and killing more would be better for my mental health. I'm not even kidding, he says that. He says he thinks going back into the city would be cathartic after he's literally saying he's struggling with seeing the faces of all the zombies he's murdered. What? And the way I did it was playing it as a joke, obviously. In the movie, it's played as, like, fully serious. He's like, yeah, man, maybe I can find some healing by going in there and killing more zombies, because I'm kind of traumatized from killing zombies the first time. And Dave Bautista and the girl are like, okay, makes sense. It's just really, I don't even know. So next they have to recruit the helicopter pilot. To fly them out of there. This is the character that got replaced. It's Tig Notaro, who I've never heard of, like I said. She's also the worst. I watched this movie with my dad, and he really hates her. He hates her as much as I hate Dave Bautista's daughter. He was, like, hoping she died in every scene. I don't know why he hated her so much. Like, she's kind of an unfunny comic relief, which is like, yeah, those characters kind of suck, but I don't know. I was very indifferent towards her, but okay. Every scene with her is kind of awkward, I'm assuming because of the reshoots and stuff. So this scene, Dave Bautista and the girl show up, and they're standing on opposite sides of this fence, and Dave Bautista and the girl are like, hey, you want to make $2 million? And she's like, yeah, of course I do. All right, let's do this. And Dave Bautista's like, wait, I didn't tell you what the plot of the movie is yet. And she's like, no, it's fine. It's $2 million. And she leaves. Like, literally, imagine that. Someone's like, hey, you want to make $2 million? And you say yes, and they offer to tell you what you have to do, and you say no. You literally refuse, and you leave. You're just like, no, I want to make $2 million. Don't tell me how. What if it was like Squid Game shit? So next, they're trying to find like another killer guy, just like a general zombie fighter character to throw in their party. And so they find this YouTube video of a guy killing zombies, and they're like, yeah, okay, that works. So they ask him if he wants to make 500 grand, and he goes, who do I gotta kill? First of all, this video would never be allowed on YouTube. I can't even get my friggin' Miss Marvel commentary video on YouTube, and it's been like 2 weeks. So a guy murdering a bunch of zombies with real guns, that's not gonna last on YouTube, but okay. Second of all, we get it. This guy's clearly like a crazy soldier-ish boy, but who do I gotta kill? Why do you immediately jump to that, bro? You have no idea what they're going to ask you to do. For all you know, they want to give you like a product endorsement because you're such a famous YouTuber. And then they get Dieter, the safecracker guy, who's kind of the fan favorite, and he gets the prequel movie. I don't know, he's fine. He actually is kind of funny. It looks like the actor is actually putting like a lot of work into trying to be like the comedic relief in this garbage action movie. So shout out to him, I guess. I don't know. I don't mind Dieter. He just has this really weird line when they show him, like, the vault he has to break into about how hot the vault is. Like, sexy. It's like, okay, we get it, you're the safe guy, but it's literally a blueprint of a vault. Like, relax, chief. So the crew assembles in this, like, airplane hangar thing, and the rich guy shows up, and he's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, crack the knuckles, here's the plan. And he goes through, like, the whole thing, and it actually seems really easy. It's literally break into Vegas, like just sneak in through the shipping container wall, go to my casino, go underground, crack the safe, and then there's an emergency helicopter on top of the casino, bring the money up and fly the helicopter out of there, easy peasy. Now, I should probably mention the fact, you're probably thinking, well, if there's a helicopter landing pad on top, if there's a helicopter there, why don't they fly in on a helicopter and then fly out on the helicopter? Well, they explain they can't fly in on the helicopter because it's restricted airspace. So, they can fly out on the helicopter. That's fine. They just can't fly in because it's restricted airspace. Anyway, Dieter has a comedic relief moment, one of his first ones that's like probably one of the most aggressively bad examples of this movie's terrible comedy. When the guy's going through the plan, you see a shot of like all the actors in a circle like shooting zombies, and Dieter standing there with Steve's bat from Stranger Things. And Dieter's like, wait a minute, how do we kill zombies? And everyone's like, what do you mean, how do you shoot them in the head? And Dieter's like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. What did he think they were supposed to do? And then they double down on this, like I'm not even gonna lie, the cliche, like, here's the plan, how it's supposed to go, now watch the movie, how it goes wrong scene is actually really good. So pausing it for like a minute and a half on Dieter asking how to kill a zombie after zombies have been around for 6 years? What? Why you gotta do that movie? Just keep going, please. This is 2.5 hours, you gotta cut something. So anyway, they start to break in, and then it turns out Gita snuck in to the city to get money, and now she's missing. So Dave Bautista's daughter's like, wait, we gotta get Gita, I'm coming with you. And Dave Bautista's like, okay, you can come with us, but we're not getting Gita. Like I said, this character adds literally nothing to the movie. So yeah, they sneak in, we get this weird speech about how the zombies dry up during the sun and then come back to life when it rains, even though that never happens. And then one of the characters gets like shot. It's the mean guy who is running the quarantine camp, because they got to give the king zombie Zeus and his queen a sacrifice to know that like it's okay for them to patrol the edges of the city, because there's this character who's the coyote that knows everything about the city and is like the smuggler of all the people in and out of the city. I don't fucking know, man. It's dumb. So yeah, we're like an hour into the movie and they just got into the zombie city. Like, for the love of God, can we speed this up, please? There's also this like asshole army guy who's working for the rich guy just to like make sure everything goes right. So he's evil. I mean, like, if you didn't expect that from the beginning, I don't know. And on top of that, Guzman, the YouTuber, brought 2 of his friends with him. One's a girl and one's a boy. And the boy is like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be killing a bunch of zombies? I can't do that. And Guzman's like, all you talk about is how much you want to kill zombies. And the guy's like, that's just shit talk. You guys are gonna die. And then he leaves. He's literally, his one line is just saying, wait, I don't want to kill zombies. This is a stupid plan. And then he leaves. There was no point to having this guy in the movie. You could cut like a minute and a half again off by not including this character who changes nothing, but we keep him in. Meanwhile, Guzman's like friend, who is a girl, I don't know if they're dating, whatever, she's really suspicious of the rich guy's soldier that's going with them because, I mean, obviously, so the rich guy gets her killed, like, immediately, and Guzman's like, wait, did you kill her? And he's like, no, and Guzman's like, oh, okay, just checking, but I'm watching you. It's just this really strange action sequence where they're like sneaking through this hallway and all the zombies are asleep, and then they all wake up because the soldier guy is like, haha, the girl in the back who doesn't trust me, I should get her killed by all these zombies. So she makes a bunch of noise by accident because she like sneaks through the wrong way, and then there's a big zombie horde they have to kill. Honestly, the sequence is like fine. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just kind of weird that when they walk in there, Dieter gets jump scared by a zombie and screams, but none of them wake up. But when one of the characters drops like a pan on the floor or something, the entire room wakes up. There's also this really funny moment where the girl in the back who dies is like sneaking through. She bumps into a zombie, and so it wakes up. So she does like an Assassin's Creed finisher move and stabs it in the head and quietly puts it on the ground. And then another zombie wakes up right next to it, so she does the exact same thing again. And then the third zombie wakes up, so she does the exact same thing a third time in a row. And then the whole room wakes up and she just starts running. Like, it's the goofiest thing I've ever seen. Like, okay, the first time it was kind of cool. Second time it was just kind of silly that it was like I said, it felt like a video game where she like pressed C on her keyboard to perform a finisher where it was like so yeah, she blows up. So the characters make it to the casino. They sort of split up. One team is like turning on the generator because they're all carrying fuel with them, and the other team is going down to the vault. And we get this really weird moment with Vanderho where he reveals the entire movie is a time loop. Literally, like, the characters who are in the bank vault, like the skeletons that are dead, are wearing the same clothing as the characters who walk in. And he's like, what if we're just stuck in a time loop, man? He's not British. I don't know why I'm doing a British accent, but anyway. What if we're stuck in like a time loop, man? We're just destined to relive our failures over and over again at the hands of Tanaka, the rich guy. And everyone's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Anyway, you want to help me get this bank vault open? And literally, they show shots of the dead people wearing the same things the main characters are wearing. It's really weird. I don't understand what this scene is. I don't even, like, I don't have anything to say. It's just like, I'm just confused. Like, what is this? I don't know. Maybe there was like a Groundhog Army of the Dead spinoff coming that got canceled too or something. Who cares? So anyway, the part of them actually breaking into the bank vault is pretty fun. They basically keep like kidnapping zombies and pushing them through the hallway Indiana Jones style to trigger like all the booby traps and stuff. I don't really get why it's booby trapped with like a smushy wall and machine guns and crap. I mean, the characters comment that, yeah, that's illegal and kind of overkill, but realistically, the smusher wall is like just, I don't understand. It's a regular bank vault too. Like, it's not like he's hiding something secret in there. There's literally just $200 million in there. I mean, I know I say just, but I mean like a smusher wall guarding your money. Are you kidding me, sir? Meanwhile, Dave Bautista and his daughter are refueling the generator. They have like an emotional moment, but it's Army of the Dead, so I don't care. Basically, it's just kind of awkward between them because Dave Bautista killed the wife because she turned into a zombie. He also did the head stab finisher move on her. And so he's kind of like, yeah, sorry. Really riveting stuff from the mind of Zacharias Snyderius. Meanwhile, both of those are going on. The coyote and the army guy are like out to capture a zombie head because the army guy tells the coyote, the smuggler woman, that Tanaka doesn't really care about the money. He wants a vial of zombie blood because, I mean, evil guys gotta evil. So the guy takes the head of the queen instead of just a vial, and the coyote's like, why would you take her entire head? All you needed was some blood. And he's like, yeah, but a head's way cooler than blood, so like, come on, man. And so now Zeus, the king zombie, who's like running a human civilization, but it's zombies, so it's more like a pack of wolves actually. He's really mad because the queen died and she did a death screech. So now all the zombies know the deal is off because remember they shot the evil guy in the leg and gave them to the zombies. So the deal is off because they killed the queen. Wasn't this like a zombie heist movie? What the fuck is going on? Oh, my dad was very adamant I include a joke here. Like I said, every shot in this movie is out of focus. I swear to God, you're gonna feel like Peter Parker in the beginning of Spider-Man where you're taking your glasses on and off. She has a line where the evil guy's like, what do we do now? Because they set a trap. And she goes, now we wait. And my dad said, yes, wait for the camera to be in focus. And he thought that was very funny. So you're welcome, Dad. So anyway, as you might imagine, everything goes wrong and an entire horde of zombies starts swarming the casino just as they break into the vault. I should also probably mention There's a zombie tiger in this movie named Valentine. They never say it. I just know it's called Valentine because I watched a documentary. Zack Snyder really thought he did something with this zombie tiger idea. And yeah, like visually from an effects perspective, it's pretty great. But on a conceptual level, it's really dumb. Like a zombie tiger and a regular tiger, I feel like are going to be attacking people the same way. One of them just looks like rotting. So the fact it's a zombie tiger is literally meaningless, but you know, whatever. Anyway, the evil guy working for the rich guy gets eaten by the Zyger. It's pretty brutal, I'm not gonna lie. My dad was convinced he was going to turn into a zombie because the tiger only ate the top half of his head. But no, they just did the shot like that because blood in a rated R movie. Cool. And yeah, the ending fight scene here where they're actually getting chased by this entire zombie horde while desperately trying to get both just escape the vault and get out with a lot of the money to bring it up to the chopper, while the chopper is kind of a piece of shit that the pilot character who got recasted is trying to get going. It's really not bad. I don't understand the moment where Dieter throws Vanderho into the vault and then locks it to protect him from the zombies, because there's also a nuke coming in like an hour and a half. Zack Snyder was very proud of the fact that there was a ticking clock cliche. He literally said that in the documentary. I don't know what there is to be proud of about the fact you put a cliche in your movie, but he was. So he basically gave himself a participation trophy in his own documentary about the movie that he did everything for and completely fucking sucks. So we get this action scene that's kind of hard to see because the camera's out of focus, and there's also a lot of like cyborg zombies running around. Like they shoot them and they're glowing blue and it looks like they have like a exoskeleton or something, or an endoskeleton, whichever. So yeah, I don't even know what to say about these robot zombies. I don't get the point. I'm out of energy to care. I just want Zack to put this movie in focus. For God's sake, leave it in focus for like 3 seconds. Just put your hand on the dial and just turn it just a little bit. Just get it in focus so I can see what the characters are doing, and don't put this stupid blurred vignette all around every single shot because I can't see what the frick is happening, Zack. Anyway, there's like this helicopter chase sequence. The helicopter's a piece of crap, but they get some money in it. Guzman blows himself up because a zombie bites him. And so, yeah, now the remaining characters are the daughter, except Dave Bautista's daughter isn't with them because she's out looking for Gita, even though a nuke is about to go off, which she knows. I guess she just really is invested in Gita. Dave Bautista, helicopter. Is Dave Bautista's girly friend still alive at the helicopter launch? I don't even remember. Oh wait, no. Dave Bautista's girly friend dies at some point. Oh, she gets her neck snapped by a zombie when they're escaping the vault. I forgot. The coyote is still alive though. But she dies right when they get up to the roof because she does like a Mexican standoff with Zeus, the alpha zombie. So he just throws a spear through her chest, and then she throws the queen's head off the roof and it just splatters. I don't know. It's kind of mindless violence. I'll take it, I guess. So yeah, the helicopter takes off, except it does like a super dive that's completely unrealistic, especially for this piece of crap helicopter, and they fly away through Vegas, but they're like, oh my god, we gotta find Dave Bautista's daughter, and we gotta find Gita, and we gotta get out, this nuke is gonna be here in like 5 minutes. Where, okay, no matter what, if you're flying in this like really crappy helicopter and a nuke is gonna be on your exact location in 5 minutes, you're kind of already dead. Like, you're not getting away from the nuke in time anyway, let alone doing a rescue mission before then too. Like, Jesus Christ, but okay. So they do the rescue mission, they save Gita, who's just been held hostage by Zeus this whole time in like a hotel room. I'm not really sure why, because the guy they sacrificed at the start of the movie immediately gets eaten and bitten and turned into a zombie alpha or something. I don't know. They just really wanted this Gita rescue mission. So there's this really intense standoff between like the remaining characters and Zeus is wearing this like bowl on his head that I guess is like covered in Flex Seal or something like that because it's bulletproof, so you can't shoot him in the head because that's, you know, the only way to kill a zombie. So the characters, you know, Gita, the daughter, Coyote, and Dave Bautista return to the roof to get back in the helicopter, but the helicopter lady abandoned them because she's selfish. But then she comes back after like 10 seconds. You know, if you're wondering why this movie's 2.5 hours, I think we've cracked it by now. So they get in the helicopter, they dramatically fly away, but Zeus gets in the helicopter with them, and they're flying around trying to get out of Vegas. They get out of the Vegas shipping container walls, they're fighting off Zeus, Dave Bautista gets bitten, they're like shooting guns, and the helicopter pilot gets shot in the shoulder, and there's a massive thing of blood, and it looks like she got shot in the head, so my dad started cheering, and I was like, no, Dad, it was her shoulder, and he was kind of upset. And then the nuke goes off, and they crash land, and then the helicopter pilot dies. One of the helicopter blades goes through her, so my dad was happy by the ending. But Dave Bautista's daughter's totally fine. I mean, Zach, Suicide Squad was the DC movie you didn't do, okay? I don't understand. Why is there a crashing helicopter in this movie that everyone survives? Okay, yeah, the pilot doesn't survive, but Dave Bautista, who got like shot and bit by a zombie just before the helicopter crashed, is basically fine. He has this kind of slow death scene where he and his daughter are chatting about a food truck, because emotion TM, and then he dies. It's not clear if he's dying because he's dying from the crash or if he's dying from the zombie bite and he's just turning like slowly as if he was regular dying, as if he got stabbed or something. But he dies, he turns into a zombie, the daughter kills him. The end, question mark? No, something else happens. Oh, a military helicopter slash plane, one of those like vertical takeoff planes, kind of ominously slash mysteriously lands right by the helicopter crash site. And that's the ending. Like, I don't know if that's implying a sequel or if it's implying she's just getting rescued and getting out of there, or if it's Tanaka picking her up to get the zombie head up from the plane crash or something. I don't know, and I guess we'll never know, but I don't really care. So then there's an ending scene where Vanderho emerges from the bank vault that Dieter threw him into to save his life, because, you know, you can survive a nuke in a bank vault. Honestly, out of all the things, I'm not really gonna call BS on that. The CG looks horrendous when he's wandering around, but whatever. He probably has cancer now, but that doesn't really matter, because you'll see. So basically, he makes his way to like the nearest private airport, buys a private plane with all the cash he stole from the bank vault, which seems odd because the woman there is like, hey, this is a privately owned plane. I can't just have you rent this plane. So he just puts a big fat stack of cash and they let him take the plane. Like, that's not how it works if it's someone's plane. So anyway, whatever. He gets on the plane, it takes off. They're gonna go to Mexico City for some reason. I don't know, they don't really say why, but it's not particularly important. He's like completely out of it. He's like falling over. He's trying to make a toast, but he can't focus. The flight attendants are like, you good, bro? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna take a piss real quick. He goes to the bathroom. Turns out he's bit by a zombie. Pilot makes an announcement that the plane will be landing in a few minutes. Sequel bait. Except not really sequel bait, because if he's turning into a zombie in the next like minute or so, like the movie implies, and the captain is just making the descent into Mexico City announcement, they still probably have like 25 minutes in the air. So by the time the entire plane turns into zombies, it's gonna crash and they're all gonna explode anyway. So fake cliffhanger, and then the movie ends. It has one of the most awkward cuts to credit I've ever seen.
Fuck.
Suspicious Mind by Elvis Presley plays, and there's not even like the exciting action credits where it gives like the director, the writer, some of the producers, the stars, and then it goes into the scroll credits. It's just fuck credit roll. Anyway, guys, that was Army of the Dead. I talked about that way longer than I expected to. If you haven't watched the documentary, even if you don't watch the movie, I kind of recommend it. Netflix did like a 30-minute documentary creating an Army of the Dead. And it's way more interesting than the actual movie, especially if you're interested in filmmaking. Like, there's some cool stuff in here. Like the fact that they recreated Vegas with a mix of this like crazy LiDAR camera. They flew everywhere in a helicopter to like get a virtual scan of the Vegas Strip, as well as a lot of like still photography that they spent like hours a day with a couple teams taking pictures of everything to clear the LiDAR up. The way that they got like all the zombie armies and stuff, they had like a couple people in the front, maybe like 100 extras like maximum for some of these shots, like around the foreground, and then used motion capture suits. They spent one day with like 5 actors in these really high-tech mocap suits, just like recording zombie movements, and then just use that to CGI zombies. And they got the textures from getting people into makeup once, scanning them for like 10 seconds, and then using that model. They just touched it up a little bit in the computer and putting that with the mocap suit. Like, that stuff's impressive. I mean, it doesn't show in the final product, like, at all, because some of the CGI here looks kind of iffy, to say the least. But, yeah, it was a really cool production. They don't touch upon the Crystalia thing. I wonder why. But, yeah, I would definitely check out creating an Army of the Dead. Would I check out Army of the Dead? Yeah, man, getting drunk with some friends and watching this, that's probably fun. Or even just watching it with friends in general and yelling about some of the dumb stuff, like the zombie robots, or, like, Gita. Yeah, if you're watching it on your own, no, like you're probably just gonna get bored and not even pay attention. So, I don't know. Anyway, this video is way too long. What would I rate this movie? I don't know. It's like a 4 out of 10. I'm probably not gonna rewatch it anytime soon. I mean, I watched it for the first time right when it came out because Netflix was hyping it up, and this was the first time I ever rewatched it, like to make fun of it for a video. So, don't think that's going to happen again anytime soon. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you, and keep it crispy. You know what? I definitely should have done this in the video. I keep my focus on me, and I slightly blur the background of my video. If I did this Zack Snyder style, my video would look something... yeah, there we go. Hello everybody, it's me Scoop, and I'm directing this video with Zacharias Snyderius.